where my audience can find you.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Lavina Quilliam, and I am a life coach and a teacher. And I'm from Sydney, Australia. And I am very active on Facebook out of all the social medias. So you can just Google on Facebook, Lavina RS Quilliam, or join my free Facebook group, which is called Logical Minds, Sacred Body and Heart-Centered Beings, where we can I love having, two-way communication and just speaking to all the people and sharing our experiences there.
Perfect. So take us through the genesis and how did you get started in all of this, helping others find their self-love, their self-care, and things like that?
It came through my own health crisis and, Graves' disease and all the chronic fatigue, burnt out that I have experienced. I'm still going through navigating my health journey for myself. It's been decades. And as alongside going through it and finding things that helped me, I discovered and people have asked for my help through my experiences to help them. So it was like a natural evolution. I always knew that I'm a helper, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor, a guide, and that it was an interesting twist to become a life coach through people asking me. So it was just something that I landed in, not something that I was actively seeking for or would actually think that I would become as well.
I know for
and
me
I'm also
when
an author.
Oh, perfect. I know for me when I started helping others, I was doing it in a different way because I thought that this was the way that I should be doing it. But similar to yourself, when I started helping people in a different way, I kind of fell into it because it was more of like an evolution where it's like, hey, I started off this way, but this way makes more sense. So when you're helping your clients, what's the type of conversation that you're having with them?
Conversation is basically how to, even just the simple things, how to connect to their body, how to listen to their intuition, how to feel good within themselves, fulfillment, what it is actually that they need and want, and actually to seek to give it to themselves or ask other people to step up and give them that support. So it's very holistic. It's very all the life concerns that people have, whether it's, they want to have partnerships, they want to, do their own business, things like this. It quite varies. And it also health as well related and food related as well is a big topic. And of course, self-love and how to do that and what does it mean and why should we do, why should we care? And probably the main thing is that people think that they always have to stay in that same stale lack vibration and they don't feel or see or taste another side to that there is actually another magical realm that they can tap into and not just a set where they are right now, but to actually go forward to find that fulfillment within themselves and in their own body and the power that has always been existed in their body.
I know for you, you suffer from Graves' disease, and
Yeah.
we're going to touch on that. When you were going through what you were going through, was there someone there to provide the same type of assistance that you're looking to provide for your clients as well?
Oh, absolutely. That's how I still have mentors. I have the best of the best. I've always decided that at the start of my journey that I would only choose the best. So I've been on this journey for over a decade and I've always had the decade and I will continue for the rest of my life because I feel that there's always an evolution and there's always, breaking through our comfort zones and seeing different perspectives because it's just shifting perspectives. I think at the end of the day is that we all have different perspectives and it's good to bounce back on other people's perspectives as well. So to forever growing. So absolutely, that was the thing that has, ultimately helped me. And that's why I'm now here to give back.
What were some of the challenges that you faced when you were going through Graves' disease or still going through it?
So most of it was like the feeling of course, brain fog, which now a lot of people have felt it pre-COVID. I'm like, I've always felt it for a decade. So glad that you can now finally understand me a little bit. Also, just really like, for me, it was like very much zombie-like and was very unusual for me because I normally have a lot of energy, especially when I was a little kid. And then all of a sudden the energy went and it felt, people said you have depression and it was very hard to get out of bed. But helping people was the springboard. If I didn't have that, I didn't have that passion, I could have easily been bedridden for 7 years easily because the energy wasn't there. But it was like I had to find that energy deep within my body to connect to that energy that is, and then bring forward in order just to get through the day. Because that's what I used to tell myself, I just need to get through today. What can I look forward to? So I like having a cookie or mindfully eating a chocolate. Like that was my factor. Like I just needed to get through today. And that was my intention to the best of my ability. And then I used to go home and just sleep for like 16 hours a day.
For those who don't know, what are some of the symptoms of Graves' disease and what exactly is Graves' disease?
So I don't know it in too much detail because I don't like to focus on it as much because I don't want that to become a victim story for me. So what I do know of, because I didn't research it, because I'm a hypochondriac as well and things, but from my perspective, it is an autoimmune. So it's like the opposite. So it's hyperthyroid. So everything's going a little bit too fast, even though there's no energy. It feels that you're very heightened. It's very anxiety, like panic attacks, or like, so quite often the body will feel like overwhelmed and experience panic attacks and a little bit of paranoia that you just, feel like you're going to die, but you're not. And it's just the constant on the edge, fight or flight feeling as well. And also just like really drained. And it could be considered as poor mood in terms of, depression. So depression and anxiety. So very similar to that, but it's the body that's going through the journey. And we just have to, that's where the self-love comes from, is like, we have to love our body because our body feels this way and we can't deny it. We can't shame it. We have to understand our body. And I feel like this journey for me and the lesson that brought me in my life was that at the end of the day, we're here to look after our body and we're here to guide our body. And our mind has its own story, but we're here to look after it and really take care and nourish our bodies, because if we don't, then it will come and manifest into different ways.
I know for me, there was a time where I was so rigid on how I wanted to take care of my body. It was to the point where I began to like obsess about it a little bit. And I just remember looking at it and saying that I want my body to look a specific way. I want to make sure that my body's healthy in a specific way. And it was all that I can think about. But what I loved about that journey was I began to understand how to love my body in different ways. Is that something that you learned as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that how you said that about, being rigid about being healthy, because that was my part of my journey. So I was thinking, because I probably manifested it because I was like on the McDonald's diet or heavily junk food. But then I turned to that, ultra pure, healthy lifestyle, and it was very rigid and therefore didn't see effects as well. So yeah, now I'm definitely on the journey of learning every day. It's different, and to finding out what we need each day as well. It's different and it's okay. There's no judgment there. It's, we just need to keep on listening to our body.
What's something that comes up, or what's one of the commonalities that comes up when you are helping your clients focus on self-love, focus on self-care, but they're still working themselves up to get to that point where they truly feel the love that they have for themselves?
I like to see it as, and, it's one thing when we think about, social media and how people paint that it should just come, butterflies, love hearts, roses, it should come instantly. And it's just this fluffy thing. But in all honesty, through my experiences, self-love and, self-care is a very difficult journey. And it's not for the faint of heart. It does put a lot of, and I see it as like a bank account. So if you're full of debt and you're in the red, and you didn't take care of your body the same way you didn't take care of your money situation, you can't expect you to feel great overnight or expect to feel great very shortly, because you have to sort of give back energy towards your body to get out of that red in order to feel the effects. So you might feel like at the start when I was doing it was like I felt horrible for so long before I could feel any shimmer of light or any feel good energy. And it was like, okay, I could stop. This was not working. So I think a lot of people and my clients will feel like it's not working because I've been doing this for a while. I should feel this certain way. Whereas it's like, you have to remember you're in the red. The more that you take care of it, and it's like for years and years and years, the more nourishment that you give to your body, the more excitement and pleasure. Of course, you're going to feel it, but it's still, your body's still a deficit. So it's going to take a while to rebalance all the things that we have, experienced and done towards our body.
It's like when on the health side, like the fitness side, where they were eating, let's say, poorly for years, and they want to overcome that in 30-day get fit diet, right? Or they may say that, well, you know what, Taryn, I'm going to try this new 90-day booty blast routine and I'm going to go from 300 pounds to 120 in 90 days, which is a stretch because then you're putting yourself through a difficult routine, right? Because you're trying to condense everything into one. Is this a difficult journey for your clients, knowing that, hey, they're still in the red, they're still in the deficit? It's not going to happen today. It may not happen tomorrow, but it will happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I always tell them from my experience, because I could tell you, I felt, and I tell them like, and I obviously don't wish it for them. We're going to definitely short track it. But for me specifically, and my family, friends could vouch for it, even myself, like it took me 7 years to even feel any shimmer of good. It was like 7 years of just hardcore, just, I don't know what I was doing, numb or whatever it might be, and just pain. And it was like, going through and seeing it, okay, it has to be long-term. This has to be a legacy. This is a long-term, short-term pain, long-term gain. And that has always been my motto and philosophy. And I have to call bluff on life, because life is like, are you willing to go through this challenge? Are you willing to show that you're strong enough to get through this? And of course you can, as well. And it's just having that faith and, really relying on just, connecting with yourself and just believing and knowing that it's going to happen. You don't know when, and it's definitely completely different for every single person. Like I have clients that get it right away. Their body understands and they get it and they feel good. So it definitely varies. I think we need to sit in our own lane and perspective and know when it's the right time for us, it will show up and happen.
For those who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and my social media, please subscribe, follow, and share for more incredible interviews like the one we have with my new best friend, Lavina, and we will be back for more. So